is music. Thank you for joining us on The Mood is Music, coming at you from home. Look at both of our slick haircuts.
Yeah, I got
Where'd you
a little
go
cut
for your
right
haircut?
here.
Did you go to the bathroom like me?
Yep. I went to the bathroom. Actually, I did it in the living room while my son slept.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, we were just
Yep.
discussing how we've been doing this for years, cutting our own hair and, you know,
Yeah, I
living
mean,
off
like,
the land.
I've been trying to cut my hair literally since I was a kid, but the thing is, like, I always just shaved my head, and now I have actual hair. So I got to do this, like, edge thing, and then I get my wife to do the back, and which is the first time we've actually done it like that. I used to just kind of until it felt
Yeah.
right. But
Well, but
now I have to get a little special.
see, I think you're a little brave in the fact that, I mean, you've had long hair, you've had, damn near bald, and then from one day to the next, you're just like, you know what? I'm done with the long hair and just cut it all down to the one or something like that. I've never, even
Yeah.
in this quarantine, I haven't had the balls to do that.
I mean, I, I prefer not having any hair. It's much easier to deal with. Um, but my wife prefers hair. So, so we split the difference. I put hair up top and then I shave the rest. So literally my hair is a compromise. But yeah,
I
but
mean,
you know what
it's
I'm trying to figure out too is like eventually I'm going to have to cut this top stuff, right? So I don't know when
yeah, but I mean,
because it's
I'm
getting kind of
sure,
long.
before that happens, you're gonna be like, I think I want to grow dreads again,
I don't think
or
so. I don't think I'll ever do that.
that's what I'm saying though. Like you've had such a diversity in your hairdos that I respect it, man. Because I can't. I've had literally the same haircut, the same goatee since I was 12. And I mean, I probably had the goatee since I was 8.
Since you
But
were 12. I do. I try and have. Well, the only thing I haven't done really is like bleach my hair. Like I have never bleached my hair like blonde or frosted the tips or anything like that. Uh,
I've done that. I I let my sister do it when I was a sophomore in high school, because she loves Ricky Martin.
oh
And when
yeah.
like La Vida Loca came out type shit, and she was like, let me try it, and I let her do it. Didn't last long. I mean, I literally just like the front was frosted, and I was like, and then I
No,
had to cut it off.
that's
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, and that's the extent. I mean, now that I have white hairs in a certain way, I'm like, it looks a little like it was placed there, but it's
Yeah,
natural.
this is a strategic cut because the sides of my hair are gray. Excuse me. The sides of my hair are gray. The top of my hair is pretty dark brown, so you can't
Yeah,
tell. But then, like, but the good thing about COVID-19 and wearing a mask all the time is no one can see my gray beard anymore because so when I go to the grocery store, all they can see is like a semi young man
yeah.
eyes until I get some crazy crow's feet and stuff, and then it will be over. My
Well, yeah, but
the illusion
you
of my
probably
youth will be gone.
like a 25-year-old that parties a lot with a mask on. I'm sure. You're like, man, that guy's been enjoying his quarantine.
So how's it going over there during this craziness?
It's good. I mean, for whatever that counts, it's good. I mean, I've been keeping healthy, busy, making music, and not seeing any clients. I mean, I've literally in the last month I've seen maybe 3 people,
Yeah,
and especially since they lifted the the orders to medical emergencies, and
right.
so I've had like one person that I've made an exception for, who I'm like, all right, I'll definitely see you because you need it, But
Yeah, yeah,
What I've noticed is everybody's very careful. Everybody, I feel like we're all on the same spectrum as far as like worry and caution and all of that, and everybody's worried about infecting yourself and others. So I feel a lot more comfortable like working in Seattle than I would be like in LA or something. You know, in LA,
yeah,
I feel like
yeah. That makes
people would
sense.
be trying to sneak.
That'd be sick. That'd be like taking decongestant before they get a massage, trying to come
Yeah,
see you.
yeah, man,
I
and a
don't
lot of
know.
people. And it's, I mean, that's what we're gonna be dealing with. I think as we slowly reopen, there's gonna be a trust rebuild as well, you know. But I'm
Yeah,
excited, man. Honestly, I love change, and you know, I was telling a client sometimes I embrace change, and when I don't see change coming, I try to create it in my life, just because change is so important, you know.
yeah,
And whether it's like changing your living space or something like that, it's change is important, and I'm excited. I'm excited for change,
yeah.
global
I
change
don't.
at that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm cautious about my excitement, but I mean, I think things are going to change in positive ways, and it's going to be interesting to see how the music industry handles it because I don't understand how live music's going to come back anytime soon. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, and like live streaming is cool. I haven't done it. At some point, maybe this year, I'll kind of dive into it because what we're going to talk about today is we both released some music, and you're going to release another track that I helped you mix. That's pretty
Yep.
awesome. I think you got to put it out there and put some support behind it. And I have two more releases coming this year with videos theoretically. If I can figure out a
Yeah.
way to do them like I did this one. Um, and so I'm probably gonna dive into like the live, like some kind of live thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I haven't even thought about it yet, really. But I've been like slowly sampling people's like live shows and like concerts, quote unquote, like concerts from home, and I saw that lady, like the Lady Gaga one, which we're gonna have to talk about that because that was parts of it were really good, but I don't know if you heard about Lady Gaga. I think she had like a $10,000 microphone. I can't remember what microphone it was, but she had it backwards the entire time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean this microphone is expensive, dude. Like, and it was backwards. So like, I follow a lot of like audio engineers and mix engineers and stuff, and a lot of post production people on Twitter and Facebook, and everyone was freaking out because they were like, you have the world's best microphone, and you literally put it on backwards,
I
on
mean,
live TV in front of millions of people, But I think things like that are interesting, but I don't. It doesn't capture my attention really. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
some of the performances I've seen over the last month have, but they're very few. And a lot of them have been like because of interesting things that the people are doing. It's very rare that like a dude and his guitar is I don't know, it's not that it's not
Yeah.
interesting. It's just I don't know how long that captures my attention. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that live concert's like gonna be like a song or two long. You know what I mean? For me
Yeah.
to watch.
Yeah. Well, I feel like what would be exciting to watch is for instance, if we take somebody like Timbaland or something like that, and he plays one song and dissects it, you know, as far as like production, like I feel like even for fans, it would be more interesting than watching somebody perform for 20, 30 minutes. Nobody has the capacity for that, you know.
Yeah.
There's just so much content out there too that nobody's gonna really concentrate on just one thing, not for that
Well,
long.
that's the other thing. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. It's like in one respect now is the best time to get into it, and in another respect now is the worst time to get into it because there's like everyone is I mean, that's all we can do. So like everyone's
Yeah.
doing it. I
Yeah.
mean, have you seen any of the like Instagram battles between like producers and like I haven't really I can't it's like I don't really want to watch it because like it's interesting, but I get I just like this it's hard for me to just sit there and watch people play music that they've produced in the past and
Yeah.
like vibe to it on the screen. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's very difficult to watch. Yeah, I think one of the ones that I saw was uh Timbaland and oh, what's his name from uh he
Oh
produced Lil
yeah.
Wayne in the beginning,
Yeah, I
the
can't
Hot Boys or
remember.
whatever.
Yeah, I don't
Um
remember.
uh oh god, name.
Anyways,
And so but it you know, it's not fun to kind of watch your idols kind of doing that, you know. Um
yeah.
I
I
don't
mean, for
know.
some
Like
people it is because they're getting a lot of people are watching it.
yeah,
You
Manny
know.
Fresh, that's his name.
Oh yeah, that's I was just looking it up. Yeah, I was like, let me look it up for you.
Manny Fresh, and I mean, and that's the thing. Like, he's such a good producer that kind of watching him replaying all these old songs, and I mean, the battle is literally
Oh,
these
it's
are the
like
songs
Timbaland and Swiss Beats too, right?
yeah, yep. Which I mean, I especially Swiss Beats. Like, I want to know up. You know, he's going to Harvard. I think he's a
Oh,
Harvard
really? I didn't
student.
know that.
Yeah, he's a very interesting person, and so I would love to learn about him, but I don't want to watch them just play a song, you
Or
know,
play songs
and then
that
go
you've
back and
already heard
forth.
100 times too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. It's very. I can understand people wanting to be in touch and kind of a lot of people almost being a beacon of distraction to the horrors, you know, and all of that. But
Right.
it's do we need it? It's difficult, man. You know, because how do we move forward? Then do we start performing? You know, or do we actually perform or just play the music? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I had a couple friends of mine here in Seattle did a live. Trying to look it up right now. They did something live from Nectar here up in Seattle, and you know they
Nice.
had it was like a full live simulcast kind of thing, where they you know they had somebody just do it from Nectar, and they like virtual concert is what it was basically, and
Yeah.
like I don't know. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, they're still like I feel like they're doing them, like they keep doing them just from the venue. And like I don't know, are people seeing it? Like I don't know. I don't know. It seems like
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I mean like 2,000 people saw it. Um,
Yeah. I
so
mean,
that's cool. You know, I think that's
I
cool. I
feel like
guess
I feel like you know, as
that's pretty
personal
good. I just
trainers.
don't. Sorry, what's that?
I was gonna say personal trainers are the only ones working from home and video recording it, and we're excited about. Um, I don't know if I'm ready to watch somebody give me a concert from their living room or something. You know, I don't know if I'm ready for that, especially if somebody that's not like at a Swiss Beats or a Timbaland level. You know, like even just watching them in their studio, it's like okay, well it looks comfortable, it looks cool. I wish I was there. Um, but do I want to watch, you know, my favorite underground rapper rap from his garage or something? I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. You know what I did watch though is I watched that Travis Scott Fortnite concert, the virtual Fortnite concert where you could like basically play the game. Have you seen the video? I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Actually, it's on my Twitter feed. I posted it the other day. Um, so that was actually kind of cool. Like I could see being
Yeah.
like I would have rather have experienced that instead of watching it on YouTube. You'll see what I mean. Instead of watching it on YouTube, I would have rather have experienced it by playing the game because it was like kind of interactive. Like
Yeah.
basically, Travis Scott was like this huge giant. Have you seen any of the?
No,
pictures of
I
it?
didn't even know
Oh,
about it.
it's pretty crazy, man. Like he was just this huge giant. Like anytime there was like a big base hit or something, he'd like smash the ground, and like if you were a player, you'd just get blasted by it and stuff.
That's cool.
That seems pretty dope. Like that would be pretty cool. You know what I mean? Especially if
Yeah,
you were like group chat with like you and a bunch of friends and you were all playing the game in the
yeah,
game and and basically virtually experiencing the concert that way. Like that sounds
yeah.
cool to me. Um I mean,
Or
but
like
that's a production, you know what I mean? Like
something
that's
like
like
augment. Sorry, go ahead.
what's that? No,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say something like augmented reality, almost, right? Where it's interact.
Yeah, right. But yeah, he's just playing in Fortnite. Like he's just like a feature in Fortnite, like
Wow.
a map basically.
Yeah,
And you just run around and like I don't think anyone was really like fighting each other, but like he basically was just this huge entity in the Fortnite world doing a concert, which is pretty sick. Like that was a
yeah,
brilliant move, in my
yeah.
opinion. Um, One thing I was talking about online the other day with some like producers and like management people was doing something like that. Like this guy was basically posing the question like, how are we going to get fan interaction with our clients? His clients being artists. Um, we can't, or meet and greets with press and fans, like which is a regular staple of like the promotional thing for bigger artists or up and coming artists. How are we going to do that now? Like, are we going to test everyone? Are we going to get antibody tests, or like send tests to
Right.
everyone before they show up and take temperatures before, and then like no, and everyone's going to wear a mask? Like no, that's not going to happen. Like
Yeah.
that's just like there's no return on investment in that situation.
I mean, Joe
So
Rogan's
one of
doing
the
it.
yeah, he's like testing all of his, but that's just like him and his assistant and the thing. That's three people, you know what I mean? So it's worth it. It's
Yeah.
like, so you spend $1,000 and like his content is rewarding him way more than that per episode, right? So like it's worth it. It's like an easy, but if it's not, so I mean, yeah, totally. That's definitely possible for like the other thing I was saying was maybe like a group play, like where like you get to oops, sorry, but hit my microphone. You get to play a game with a famous artist and be on their team for like 20 minutes or half an hour. So you get to talk to them and interact with them and play a game with them. And
Yeah.
then you know what I mean? So like something like that could work in the interim. I mean, it's not going to replace all that other stuff though. But I mean, that other stuff, as far as we know, is like a year or two out. You know what I mean? Like live shows are like 2 years away.
God. And but okay, so if that's a year and a half, or 2 years away, that's only the beginning to then work up to being comfortable again. So
Right.
in like a year, we're ready to move on with whatever change is gonna come. And so we're talking more like 2 3 years to be
Yeah.
back to something that resembles normality.
Yeah. Like, is there going to be a Coachella in 3 years? Like, I think it's funny that like people are just pushing the festival schedule out like a year as if like a year is going to change it. Like, as if they can, you know what I mean? Like, you're
Yeah.
not, like, you push South by Southwest out a year, right? I mean, what did they do? They tried to reschedule it or something like that. I don't think like I don't think anyone's gonna be in the mood to Coachella in a year.
Yeah.
Like next year, maybe. Like next year, if we if there's a capable treatment drug wise for it, right? Some kind of antiviral or something like that that we know is effective against it.
Mhm.
And then maybe there's like a fledgling vaccine that may or may not work, a year after that. Are people still going to be like, oh well, if I go to the hospital, like they have treatment for it, so it's no big deal? They're going to like risk going to the hospital? Like no one does that. Like what do
No.
people think? People are dumb. Like I mean, not people are dumb, but like people aren't dumb. Like people aren't going to go risk their, for all intents and purposes, lives just to go to Coachella. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like some people will, for sure. Some people will do that for anything, but like most people are not going to do that. So like you can't
Mm-mm.
really afford to book 9 multi-million-dollar acts and guarantee
Yeah.
them all $1 million because, or $100,000 or whatever the guarantee is, because you're never going to return that investment ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's more beneficial to start looking um, at a whole new world rather than nitpicking what goes and what stays or whatever. It's difficult because I mean we've grown up in a society where we need like money and shit like that. Where in a it's only circumstantial. I feel because
Right.
and it's a tough call, man. Because we can easily say abolish all of that. Everybody grow your garden and focus on trade rather
Right.
than capitalism or something like that. But it's got to be a global thing. It's not just a, you know the partial of the population does whatever. That's
Right.
not gonna work. But still, yeah, it's very insane. So I'm still looking forward to seeing different at home concerts and stuff.
Well, I think
I
like
almost tried it the
the
other
other,
day.
you almost what?
I almost uh I almost went live and performed one song the other day. And then I was like, maybe I should like let you know and like text people or whatever. And then I was like, nah, never. I'll do it some other day. But I was like, I have everything set up and stuff, and I was very close.
Well, what was that thing I don't know if we talked about it last time we got together, but like last time I think we talked about this, but where this kind of famous promoter guy was saying like authenticity trumps professionally produced content these days. So like just getting
Yeah,
on Instagram or Twitter and just being live for a moment trumps actually doing it in a way that looks professional. Like no one cares anymore. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone
yeah,
cares
yeah,
really. Especially
yeah,
with like TikTok and like Facebook Live and Twitter Live and Instagram Live and like I just
yeah,
don't think people give a shit. Like they're just like, yeah, like a person looks like a person these days. Everyone knows that. And like,
yeah,
so like it's important to be creative, I think, um, when you produce content. But I don't think like if you're like, yo, I'm gonna just perform this new song in some crazy way, I don't I don't think anyone cares whether or not it looks good anymore. It's just like, did it
yeah,
entertain them for 3 minutes while the song played? I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
I don't
You're
know. I think it's like a definite it's a different, it's a generational thing a little bit too, you know?
well. Also, too, I did feel as though I was doing too much, and I was like, this is a little too produced, and it didn't feel good, and I feel like that's why I didn't go through with it. Just because I was like, I'm worried too much about my angles and fucking lighting and I'm like done with so,
Yeah, I mean,
but I am trying to think of something else to try and do something sort of different, at least for me. Uh,
yeah.
so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to figure that out. I mean, as far as like promoting music and like how like releasing music, it's like it doesn't really make sense to pay a bunch of money for marketing when you can just do free marketing, or pay a bunch of money for a video when like you can just make a video online with
Yeah,
pre-cut stuff, like I have a new song out on the 30th of April called Stuck Here, which is just a weird ska song that I decided to make. Like no one's listening to ska anymore. I don't know why I did it, because I wanted to.
it's
I
awesome.
had this song and
Yeah,
I just wanted to finish it. I had like horn recordings already done for it, so I was like, they're just sitting around. Might as well put it out there. And we just
yep.
did a video. I stole a bunch of drone footage from the downtown Seattle Chamber of Commerce,
Where like
and
it's all lonely and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, all that lonely footage in the front of that video, that's just all stuff I
Yeah.
just ripped from YouTube. Like
Wow.
I didn't monetize the video, you know what I mean? It's my song. It's just like
Yeah.
I'm not monetizing the video. I'm just putting it out there as a promotional piece, you know? And we
Yeah.
recorded me just doing dumb stuff in my house and I just cut it together and put it out. Like it's free for all intents and purposes. You know what I mean? Like I already had Premiere and I know how to
Yeah.
use it, so I might as well just cut a video. I'm gonna do the same thing for all of the songs I'm gonna put out. I think one of the things that's kind of untapped a little bit, and I know people are starting to do it more and more, and I've done it a little bit. And I've worked in animation for a long time to know how it works. Is animation. Like animation is something that can be done from a bunch of people at home. Like I work for a company that does produces animation and everyone's remote. We're all remote all over the world and we all work on animated projects together. I do the sound and the music and other people do animation, some people edit, some people do the administrative, but everyone's dispersed across the whole entire world. And that's what we do and like so there's no point like we might as well be producing everything like that as far as like animated content goes. And there, there's going to be a high demand for that because animated content you can actually do that way. You don't need a production crew to do animated content.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna be seeing a lot of animated stuff over the next year because it's possible, you know.
Yeah. Or we'll be seeing a lot of live action stuff that looks like this, like somebody's actually holding the phone.
Yeah, yeah, or
They're
like
like,
what my
"What's up?"
video looks like, which is just like a terrible cell
Yeah.
phone video. I mean, the thing is, like the new iPhones. I mean, even like 3 series before, like even the iPhone 7 can shoot really good video. It's more just like, do you know how to produce that video yourself? Like, do you know how to stabilize the
Yeah.
camera? Do you know how to cut and edit? And I mean, all that stuff people can figure out. And there's going to be more content made by even more than there already is, and there already is a lot of content made by people's by themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, it'll be interesting. I think the live music thing though is really like it's going to take a while for that to get back to where it was. And the other part of that too is like how are venues going to stay afloat during all of this? I mean, venues are not this is something I've been thinking about for a really long time actually since it's happened because I've been seeing like people who I know who own venues in Seattle and Los Angeles. People who have and I know this from my own personal business with them and other people who have legitimately ripped off artists like in the past,
Hmm.
like many times, you know what I mean? And
Yep.
continue or not continue to do it, but have been doing it. And now they're complaining like, hey, artists, like, support us, do this, this, and that. But like, the truth of the matter is this, like, I think, and I don't know I don't know if this will become true or not, but artists don't really need venues. If an artist wants to put together a concert, they can do that on their own. They can rent a
Yeah.
warehouse. I mean, underground raves have been doing that for literally 30 years now.
Yep.
Um, Parties and festivals have been doing that for years. Like the Juggalos have been doing that for years. Like they don't
Yeah.
need venues. They just create their own venue. Why do
Hmm.
we need venues? I mean, we need venues because those are the people who are getting organizing, administering, promoting. They're doing all the grunt work. So I'm not saying
Yeah.
that they're not valuable. All I'm saying though is like in a year from now, a lot of venues are not going to exist anymore. So then what? Like the natural evolution of that is like an artist is going to have to create his own venue.
Yeah.
That's going to be the interesting evolution of live music, I think, because that's when we're going to see like a fully realized artistic expression of a live event is when the
Yep.
artist is responsible for finding the venue,
Yeah.
like from the get-go, like from the ground up, not a pre-existing venue, but they're going to have to go find something and
Yep.
promote it and then get people to show up there and then actually have all the details worked out.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I
It's
think, I
interesting.
mean, obviously there's
I
going to
mean,
be
I
someone that sit in and do that for them still, but like,
yeah. In these times, there's two types of artists. I feel like there's the artist that is experiencing all the doors closing up for them, and then there's artists that are experiencing this is a whole new door to open and run through. You know, people that maybe understand the internet a lot better,
Yeah.
or people that can just kind of survive with their following kind of thing. You know,
Right.
um, but I'm very interested in seeing which artists are the door closed ones and which are the open door ones, and you know, and how they treat each of those things. It's interesting to
Right.
see who's going to come back from this and who's not, you know,
Right.
who's going to
Yeah.
emerge from this.
Yeah, like definitely because I think I mean, I'm an artist who makes music for other people most of the time. And does other things like engineering and post production for other people almost 80% of the time. Like, and so a lot, some of that work is dried up, but some of it is not dried up. Some of it I think is about to get explode, really, in all honesty. So, but I feel like there's a lot of artists out there that like they, you know, I don't know how to say it, but like, and I don't mean this in a negative way. I just mean like there's a lot of artists that lean on the platforms that exist already, and then there's a lot of artists that are kind of just like artists because they can in their bedroom and they can put their shit up on Facebook or Twitch or whatever and do the Twitch streams or whatever, and then
Yeah,
and then and that's kind of what they lean on. And I wonder like how long those guys are going to still do that because there's just going to be a glut of other things to watch. So I think like you're saying
yeah,
like that stuff I think has to evolve. And I don't know how it's going to evolve. I mean, cuz even the current evolution of it I haven't fully like I don't really currently understand. Like I don't consume musical content in a live fashion online. I don't know if I ever will. But
yeah,
like I'm not going to save the date and sit down and watch a live broadcast of something. Like I will if I'm like I have since I've been, since we all been social distancing and sitting at home doing things. I've done it a couple times because I'm like, hey, I'm here. I'm working on something. I'll just shoot it up on like another screen and see what's up. Or like me and my son are sitting around and I want to show him like we watched the Flogging Molly live concert from a venue somewhere in Boston, and that was cool. Um, but I just did it mainly because I wanted to show my son Flogging Molly,
yeah,
the band,
yeah.
and he
You were
liked it.
somehow invested in it.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah,
like I liked the band, and it was for a good cause or whatever. So whatever. But
yeah,
yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. I mean, we're both releasing music in this time, and I don't really
yeah.
know how I'm supposed to promote it. Really, I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
see that's the beauty that I find because you and I are the open door artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we have enough knowledge of the analog way of the music industry as we go into this more digitized era of the music industry, and we have I feel like we are definitely two open door artists that are going to take full advantage of this. Not full advantage, but really know how to work the new era that we're going into. You know, as far as
Right.
like the content we put out and how we put it out.
Right.
It's going to be innovative. I'm excited, man. I like looking at it from a positive way, you know. There's a lot of old school stuff that I think has been fading, and it's maybe it's time to let go, you know, and start anew.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, I think that piece of advice that I heard, and I wish I could attribute it to a person, but I don't know who said it. But I think authenticity trumps professional content. I really do.
yeah,
But I mean, getting yourself in that mindset, especially if you're like any kind of person that thinks about like privacy or surveillance or like, I mean, that's the other piece, right? It's like authenticity trumps professionalism, but being authentic on camera through platforms like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram means you no longer have you lose a tiny amount of privacy every time you do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would assume like the more famous you get, the less privacy you become, or the less privacy you have, right, in those
Yeah.
realms. So that's always been my thing. It's like I don't really care. Like I don't. I'm not. Like I share. I love sharing the work that I make, and obviously I love getting paid to make music for other people, and I love getting
Yeah.
paid to make audio. Do audio things for other people. But like I don't necessarily want to be like the center of attention in that way. But but I also am an artist and I want to be heard. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah. Yeah.
I've always kind of like struggled with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like do I just take a bunch of pictures of myself and post them on Instagram? Like do I do that? Like is that do it does anyone even want to
Yeah.
see me? Like I don't know. I don't think so. I don't
I
know. I don't
Yeah.
think it
I mean,
matters, right? Like
I've used the discard button more than the post button nowadays. More than anything. Because I mean, what else do we do? It's
yeah.
you know we can't. I mean, I can't mass text people because even the people around me. I mean, I have a friend who is so ready to go to Vegas. And this is a guy that has tried to literally live off of going to the casino. And I'm like, bro, like you're just wrong in every sense of the, especially thinking you're going to go back to Vegas by the end of this year. You're crazy, man.
Yeah.
And so it's just, you either keep it to yourself or you put out dumb shit, man. And it's such a struggle. I feel like it's a struggle to not say anything, you know?
Yeah, it's like do you care? Like, is it? Yeah, it's not so much. Like, I don't really care what anyone's. Like, my thing is like, it's more about the privacy for me. It's more about
Yeah.
just like, and like, I guess the argument against that is no one gives a shit what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, the vast majority
Yeah.
of people don't give a shit what you're doing. And that's true.
Yeah.
And it's not so much like I'm worried about, like, I'm so amazing that I'm worried about people stalking me. It's not that. It's just the idea of having the privacy or the idea of that. But I think that's an idea that a lot of people don't care about anymore. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't care if they're being surveilled. A lot of people don't care
Yeah.
what kind of ads Google is serving them and kind of lean into that
Yeah.
customization by surveillance. You know what I mean? By
Yeah.
losing your privacy.
Well, I mean, when OnlyFans.com is slowly becoming one of the biggest websites for new businesses, it goes to show that people really don't care about their privacy.
Well, and on top of that, like I know like a couple producers and a couple mix engineers who are doing shows on OnlyFans.
Oh, wow.
They're not showing their boobs or their penises or whatever, but they're like they're they basically are jacking the platform and using it to do mixes and shit like online.
Yeah.
Like, yo, this is how I did this mix. I'm breaking it down on OnlyFans,
Fuck.
which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And people are doing that
Wow.
on Twitch already. You know what I mean? People are using Twitch for all that stuff. And
Damn.
Twitch originally was
You
like
know
a
what?
gaming platform.
That's it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea to start like
It's
a
kind of interesting.
bilingual rap OnlyFans, and maybe I'll wear like a tank top or something.
Yeah.
Give them a little bit of flesh.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I don't know. I
So
don't know.
are you? Is this uh, the image you put out for your single or for the track you released recently, um, stuck here? Is that basically the name of your next project or?
Stuck Here is just the name of the single. I just put a single out called Stuck Here. It's still, I'm just the artist. It's just me, Marcelo Quinones. It's a video. I released a video. The actual single goes live on the 30th of April, so Thursday, this coming Thursday from when we recorded this podcast. Um, it's just a song that I had, and I was like, I'm going to put out some music. I'll promote it as much as is possible. Now that now that I'm sitting here talking to you about it, I'm realizing that I'm probably just going to try and promote it in like some new ways as opposed to doing what I used to do, because I don't think what I used to do is really going to work anymore. And
Yeah.
like the original idea was, I've been trying to gear up and get a band together, which I was almost successful at, but
Yeah.
not anymore. So that was kind of a waste of time.
Yeah.
uh so I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have like I think I have to take my own advice and be a little more authentic in front of the camera, do a couple more, live things, and talk about, maybe talk about the process a little more. A couple people have asked me like, why don't you do, some post audio things and or just like
Hmm.
mixing things and like talk about like share screen kind of stuff where videotape video
Yeah.
myself and then share my screen and be like, yo, this is what I'm doing. I think part of the reason I never do that is because I'm always a little bit like imposter syndrome. I'm always like, I don't want to be called out because I routed something in a technically incorrect fashion, and like, you know what I'm saying,
Which,
like, but it doesn't
even when you're
matter.
perfect, you know it's gonna happen.
I know. I'm just saying that's probably why I haven't done it since,
Yeah.
currently. But yeah, I mean, no, I'll probably do it. I'll probably do it with content that I can do it. I mean, most of the content that I work on and get paid for, like I can't share that anyway. So like,
Right.
I'm working on it for like a production company or something like that. But I can like break down my own track, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That might be kind of interesting, I guess. Like, this is how I made this song. I
Yeah.
don't know. There's already a billion people doing that too. I think really it comes down to like being more spontaneous and being more live. Like, I think that is kind of more important.
Right. Connecting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I mean,
think. What about you?
I've
What
mentioned.
about this new release that you're gonna? Because you've been
Well,
just putting random music out.
yeah, yeah, and honestly, like I noticed that I've been putting random music out, um, because I'm always trying to showcase like my vocals and my writing and blah blah blah, and how I'm bilingual and I switched, and now I'm thinking I have to mesh everything together. I have to take the
Yeah,
production of the song and really look at the whole production of the entire thing. Like this last track that you helped me polish up. Um, I'm very excited about this song just because it sounds good. It sounds like a solid song, and that's when I realized I can't just put it out like, "Hey, look at how I rap" or whatever. I need to put it out as a good song being promoted and put out there as a song, not just me as a dope rapper, you know kind of
right,
egotistical on my part, which I realized. And but still, I still want to have some sort of focus on some sort of lyrical whatever. And so through that song, the idea of isolation music came out, and so I think that I'm leaning towards releasing like some sort of demo EP, and call it isolation music.
gotcha.
And basically my 4 or 5 tracks maybe that I have in the chamber ready to go. And hopefully within the next maybe less than a month or so, I'm hoping to really put it out. And you gave me some great advice as far as like how to put it out there, um to legitimize it a little bit more, rather than just putting it out on freaking YouTube or whatever.
Right. Yeah,
So
yeah. Like, get it out there so people can stream it at least,
yeah,
because if it hits in some way and it's fully realized, you might as well get it out
yeah,
there so that it can be streamed all over the place. And like, a lot of people are also delivering to TikTok, so if people want to, so if it hits in some way. I mean, I think truly viral hits are very few and far between anymore. I don't think that really happens. I think there are viral people, like I think people become viral because they make a funny face and they say a funny thing
Right.
and it gets shared and it feels universal. And so I think that kind of stuff still happens, but I don't think like, I think a lot of like viral content is just created to be that and it's
Yeah.
promoted in many ways by larger companies
Accidental
now.
shit.
Yeah, like cuz I just think like I mean there are I think there are truly viral things that are like, someone videotapes themselves or videotapes. Someone does video of their son playing baseball and hits him in the nuts or whatever, and then like that becomes
Yeah.
funny and that becomes a meme. Like that stuff I think happens still. But,
Yeah.
to get like a song to go viral because it just randomly does, like, I don't know. Like, I think there's like $1 million behind a lot of those songs. You know what I mean?
You're
Like, I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
like we talked about like Lil Nas, but like that guy has been producing viral content in other ways for years, not for years, but like for a year before he put that music together and put it out. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
like he was
Yeah.
doing managing other Twitter accounts and doing all this other stuff so he could point himself back towards that. And that's kind of, that was for us one of the motivations to start the podcast was like, hey, let's talk about ourselves, but let's talk about other music coming out. And I think so yeah, so I don't know. I don't so I think it comes back to being authentic and just putting
Yeah.
yourself out there and being okay with that you're going to be out there. You know what I mean? I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll say this though, like I haven't found like like I like Twitter the most because I guess I use it the most and because of who I follow, I guess, But yeah,
Yeah.
I can't like like and I've said this a million times on this podcast, but like I'm really having a hard time like being on Facebook and like even just tolerating it in any way for any long period of time. And so it just doesn't make sense for me to really put any time and energy into that. You know what I mean? But like I have the
Yeah.
biggest following on Facebook. So what do I can't it's like I'm in this weird conundrum where it's like I have a lot of people who follow me on Facebook or who are friends of mine and blah blah blah,
Right.
but I can't stand being on the platform anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I struggle with the idea um of like censoring myself for the sake of not not even not offending, but what if the people that like me don't like what I say? Like I don't
Right.
I feel like it's such a frustrating time. If you pay attention to like politics and just all these dumb things, it can become frustrating if you immerse yourself in all of that.
Right.
And with this quarantine, sometimes you have no choice but to be immersed within all the bullshit. You cannot
Right.
escape from it regardless if you go on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or whatever. It's not easy to get away from it, you know
Right.
um even when I go on Instagram to just look at girls, I
Yeah.
tend to see them, even they have a fucking opinion, and I'm like, I'm
Like
just here to see you.
right.
but but it's, I mean, and that's what the times are, man. I feel like now more than ever people are actually communicating, and we're realizing kind of that 80-20 rule, where like I guess 20% of the country's carrying 80% of whatever, or I feel like 80% of the people are now communicating a little more properly and on a level scale.
Right.
Everybody's on the same subject.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like but because of that though there's so much noise like you're saying. Like there's just noise, like a
Yeah.
constant din of things, especially music wise. Like there's a everyone's on it all the time who's a musician.
Yeah.
like live or not live or whatever, So like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. I guess I have do I guess I have to be one of those people. Um, but and so what? You know what I mean? I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like I know a
Yeah.
lot of people, a lot of musicians, like more popular musicians than me, and like they're all like always on Facebook. They're or Facebook Live or Twitter Live with their families, with their kids. Like I'm literally watching a video of an entire family that I know, like walk off the earth people who I've worked with and worked for. Um, their whole family's on, and it's like I don't think I want to put my son on Facebook Live right now. Like I just don't want
Yeah.
to. I don't know why. I just have an aversion to it. Like that
Well,
feels weird to
it's a
me.
crazy world, man. You don't know what you're putting it out to, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. We can't. I mean, we live in an era where like your next door neighbor can have a tiny drone that can surveil you and you don't even know it, you
Right.
know?
Well, yeah,
It's I
especially
mean,
in my neighborhood, me and my wife walk by when we go on walks regularly with our dog and our son, and we walk by. Every other house has a ring doorknob facing us. You know what I mean? Or a ring doorbell, not a doorknob, a ring doorbell, and
yeah.
it's like every time we walk by one of those, they had like literally time stamped have us walking down the street, right? And one of our neighbors has like a recording that anytime you go by the sidewalk in front of his house, it says, "Hello, please be advised that you are being recorded. If you have a
Whoa.
dog, please pick up its feces. If you're here to visit us, welcome." It says like if you're here,
Wow.
that's like a full recording. Like, and I'm in a public space. I'm not on their
Yeah.
property. When I walk by the sidewalk in front of their house, this recording goes off
Whoa.
loud enough that I can hear it on the sidewalk. And it's like, "Hello, you are being recorded. If you have a package, please bring it up to the top level of the house," because there's like two entrances to this house. Um, and it says,
Gee.
"If you have a dog, please pick up its feces. If you're here as a visitor, welcome." I
Oh
don't
my
live like
God.
I live in a nice neighborhood, but it's not that nice. I mean, it's like it's a working class neighborhood. Like it's not like I live
Yeah.
close to a very nice neighborhood, but like it's not a crazy awesome neighborhood. I mean, you've been
Yeah.
here. Why like what, bro? There's not even crime here. Like no, there's like very few break-ins. People in
Yeah.
Burbank had that kind of stuff too, but it's like and that's where I used to live, but and I get it. Like, we had a condo in Burbank, but we had a condo, like between like, $1 million condos and then, $9 million man, like not even mansions, just homes that were worth that much money. And then so and their houses were nice and there were celebrities that lived all over the place and executives from all the. So like I get it. Like they need a little more, people are looking for those people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude on the corner by my house, no one's looking for him. Like no one cares that he's living there. Like no one gives a shit that you are.
No.
Why are you recording us all the time? Why? What is
Why are
your
you talking to
paranoia,
me? I'm
bro?
just walking by.
On top of that, like not only are we in the lowest crime time of as far as like modern history goes, like there's never been less crime than there is now.
Yeah.
There's legitimately no crime statistics in our neighborhoods. Like, because me and my wife, as soon as we saw all these people with like Ring cameras, we were like, "Oh shit, did we move into like a real shitty place and not know it? Is it one of those like underground places where like it looks like a good neighborhood on the surface, but it's a shitty neighborhood where like meth freaks are constantly raiding our stashes?" No, 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 it's not. It's
Uh,
not. It's actually
Shit.
just a neighborhood no one even knows about. It's literally
Yeah.
unincorporated. It's like it's just people are weird and think
Yeah.
that they need constant security and surveillance. And like a
Yeah.
bunch of people in my neighborhood have guns. You know what I mean? So like, bro, you have a gun. Like,
Yeah.
what is a camera gonna get you? Like if someone comes in your house and you're not there, okay, I get it. You have a camera on them, but like no one's coming here, dude.
No. Yeah, yeah, and it's almost like they have it just in case, and when it does happen, we have the video content, and I mean we live in a viral video world, and literally everybody is in line waiting for their 15 minutes fame.
Yeah.
And I always bring it up to people in Seattle, um especially Green Lake, Queen Anne, things like that, where I'm like, those signs on people's windows that say Black Lives Matter. I'm like, 80% of that is, hey, I support you. Please don't break in. And
Yeah.
I'm very adamant about that. That there's plenty of people that think that, you know, within the support, there is the positivity of the support within that, but I know what's going on. They don't fool
Right.
me, you know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think a lot of it's like guilt, like white guilt, and and like just woke, trying to be woke and trying to be aware and social justice and all that kind of stuff. And then yeah, you're probably right. Like some of it's probably that too, but
Yeah.
probably not in a way that is they're aware of. You know what I mean? It's not probably the
Yeah.
forefront in their awareness, but they're probably like a little bit
Yeah.
like, I hope this discourages
Yeah.
some
But here's the thing,
minorities
like
from
when
coming in here.
I mentioned it to one person who actually has a sign, and literally their reaction was almost like they had a gut reaction to it, like, oh shit, that hit very close, But in a sense, that's almost a little more dangerous. Like you're doing that without being aware of it. And I
Right.
mean, that's how safe you are in your environment,
Yeah.
to not
I
be
think that's
aware you're doing something like that.
I think that's the thing, right? Like people don't realize how safe shit is right now. Like people think
Yeah.
it's very dangerous out there, and the truth of the matter is not. It's not super dangerous out there. Like it is now, though. Like now it is
Yeah.
pretty dangerous. Like now you can. There's like a silent, like serial killer walking the streets at all times right now, and not
Yep.
walking the streets, but definitely in the retirement homes, definitely in cruising around looking for healthcare workers. That's for sure. Like the
Yeah.
coronavirus is looking for old people and healthcare workers to.
And babies.
So like, I think, yeah, I don't know. I mean, so I wonder if this will bring some awareness to like people appreciating, like, man, like we're pretty safe in our homes and we're pretty safe, like walking around in our neighborhoods as long as they're not super dense, and like maybe
Yeah.
appreciating that a little bit more. I don't know, maybe not, but
I just want the awareness of it. I tweeted out a while back. I went for a walk in Seattle, and I tweeted out, um, I can't wait to go back to people in Seattle walking around me because I'm Mexican and not because of this virus. And
right,
that's one of those things where like not a lot of people understand until now, where
right,
you get to see people that normally wouldn't go off the sidewalk and go around other people. You normally wouldn't see those people doing that kind of stuff, where they would expect other people to do that for them or whatever.
right,
Um,
right.
and so in a sense, I mean, I definitely want people to be more aware of that. That you are a lot more secure. Even in crime-ridden areas, crime is lower than ever, and
Yeah,
I feel like there's cameras everywhere. Everybody has a phone. Everybody's under surveillance. It's not that easy to commit crime. You know,
right.
a lot of the times crimes are circumstantial, and you're just wrong time, wrong
Wrong place.
area
Yeah,
type of
wrong
thing.
place at the wrong time.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to the awareness of that a little more. So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll
I mean,
see.
this coronavirus has impacted everything on a different scale. on our Mood is Music Facebook page the other day, we shared the story of Fred the Godson, um, who is a 35-year-old rapper
Oh
from the
yeah, yeah,
Bronx
yeah, yeah,
who
yeah,
died from COVID-19. And I mean, and that's the other extent that we're seeing the effects of coronavirus. You know, it's not just affecting our concerts and how we move forward, but I mean, all of these artists that are being taken, you know, because of this, and I mean, that's definitely a closed door situation there.
yeah, yeah. That's
So
crazy. I saw that.
yeah, yeah, and it's just it's interesting who it hits, how it hits, you know, and what the results are, and how they recover or whether or not they recover. It's just so crazy, you know. Um, so I'm okay with being safe with our concerts in the next couple of years. I'm okay with that. Till then, we'll gain some audience, and when we're ready to go out live, we'll definitely be ready, and we'll put on a hell of a show. Of that, I'm confident. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So
think eventually it'll all come back in probably a new way.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. In the
yeah.
meantime, how what kind of crazy stuff happens? So when do you think you're gonna put out your next track?
I don't have an exact date. I have two more tracks that I want to maybe mix and master. Um, and basically, I want to put the tracks together, see how they all sound together. I'm gonna be sharing that with you pretty soon, and
Nice.
maybe sharing like a snippet of every song just to kind of see how it flows and all of that. And once it's ready to go, again through the advice that you gave me, um, put it out on pretty much any and every platform. You know, for it to get out there. And then on top of that, I've been recording all by myself. I've been trying to make this crazy video, but it's been difficult doing it on my own, you know, setting
Yeah,
up
it's hard to do it.
everything and then like yeah, I had a really cool shot the other day and it was out of focus
Yeah,
and
I hate
I didn't
that
realize
shit.
it till the end. I was so mad, man. So
Yeah, man.
so I'm doing
I
that, you
totally
know.
get it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've been focusing on maybe creating a couple of videos for a couple of those songs. Otherwise, I'm just gonna put up like a lyric type of video just for
Yeah.
like YouTube content. Um, but still put everything up on like Spotify, iTunes, and things like that, and hopefully get it out there as much as possible. You know, I've been in contact with some friends that I've met in the music industry who, since I moved from LA, I just completely stopped talking to and reconnected, and I've been communicating as far as like this project and stuff. And so I have people in the industry pretty much waiting for this project to hear it. So
Nice.
I'm hoping for good feedback. I'm confident, man. I really love like this last track that you helped me with. It's one of those tracks that I'm so impressed by it. I can't stop listening to it. You know, I can listen to it
It's
over
good.
and
It's
over
good
again,
track,
and I
man.
don't get tired of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good track. I like it.
So I don't have an exact release date, but I know that I mean, I don't want to take too long in releasing it, especially as we move forward, whether we start reopening little by little or whatever it may be,
Right.
while people are, you know, for lack of better words, while we're all stuck inside, hopefully give content to people to have, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
hopefully I sell out and make a hit.
Yeah, definitely. Do it. Well, yeah, so
Yes.
I have this track coming out on the 30th, and then I got kind of two more tracks on the heels of that, which I'm currently in the process of, trying to figure out some video content for and some something
Are
for it.
So you're putting those out as singles as they come,
Yeah,
or is
originally
this
I was gonna
okay?
put it out as a collection, but now I think it's better to just have, just for myself, not necessarily because I think it's gonna like be like a stroke of marketing genius or anything. I just think for me, like maintaining like a consistent, just producing more music and just putting them out like as I finish the content and just like kind of keeping that going is easier for me
Yeah.
than like saving it and like collecting it into an album and putting it out. Like eventually, I'll do that for more music that I have planned, but for now I think I'm just gonna just keep putting it out there and see what happens.
That makes sense.
Yeah, try and
How
be
do you
authentic.
how do you feel how do you feel about I was thinking about this the other day. Um because eventually I'm pretty sure it will happen, but a the Mood is Music album
Yeah,
where we just put our own content of old school shit with new shit and kind of showing things like Asuncion, right? Like that
right.
song is
Yeah, like re-releasing it.
so, yeah. And it's just like in things where it's just you and I featuring each other or whatever, and it's all Mood is Music content. It's just something that came to me the other day, and I was like, oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And it's not, it wouldn't be like it's our band because it's based on our podcast. But I mean, you have pretty much have worked with me for my entire music career,
Right.
and so as far as like working with people, I definitely trust.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I mean,
yeah,
I think that would be cool. I'd be into it.
okay, it'll be definitely a conversation to be had.
All right, cool. Well, man, I think it's been a podcast. I think so anyways, yeah, I have a release. Go check it out. It's up on my website. MarceloQuinones.com. Quinnonez is the last name. It's Marcelo is the first name. You can check it out. Stuck Here by Marcelo Quinones. You can also check me out on Twitter, which is Canica Music, CANICAMUSIC. And yeah, that's me.
Cool. And you can find me at Silencer138. You can also find my YouTube page under I believe it's Jesus Octavio. I don't know. I will share that information as we go along. But as far as right now, we want to thank you all for listening to the Mood is Music podcast. I am 50% of your host of this show, Jesus.
And I am
And
50% of your show, host Marcelo Quinones.
and I look forward to one of these days being in the same room together.
Yeah, that it's gonna be good. We're gonna do it sometime soon, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I'm excited, man. I'm excited to hear the singles that are coming up. Stuck Here, from what I've seen, the image is dope, by the way.
Thanks,
If
man.
you, the listener, hasn't seen it yet, go to Facebook or Twitter, find Kanika Music. The image that you're using for Stuck Here is dope. I like it.
Thanks, man.
So make sure you check that out. Make sure you check us out. Go to moodismusic.com. Drop us some lines. Follow us, like us, and show us some love.
Yeah.
Seems like time is moving so slow.
The Mood is Music.
So low.